We continue to hunt and kill afloat assets, including more than 120 vessels and 44 mine layers, and the pressure will continue.
So that pressure now includes the deployment of the USS Tripoli and Marine Expeditionary Unit, the self-contained sustained unit stationed in Japan right now. It's a few days away still, but it includes over 5,000 Marines and sailors of our armed forces. It is equipped for special operations across land, sea, and air. This is a monster capability unit. As I said, it's coming within days to the region, and it will give President Trump some new options to pressure Tehran. But how they can aid potentially in the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz is also on the table as this vessel steams forward towards the Persian Gulf. Joining me now, retired four-star General Joseph Votel, former U.S. CENTCOM commander, almost 4 decades of military experience. He is National Security Distinguished Fellow, Senior Fellow at the Middle East Institute. Good to have you with us. Great to see you, General, as always. So this morning, the Wall Street Journal wrote a piece about this this unit arriving soon, and it is an incredibly impressive piece of equipment. We can put up on the screen again the 5,000 members of the 31st MEU, and they refer to this unit. They say it could seize one or more of the islands off the southern coast of Iran to use as leverage or as a base to counter Iranian attacks on commercial shipping. And we have a map that shows some of these small islands that this unit could potentially occupy in order to change the game in the Strait of Hormuz. You've got Qasem Island, Hormuz Island, Karg Island, as shown here on the map. What do you think about all of that? And do you think that's the likely reason for this mission, General?
Yeah, thanks, Martha. It's good to be with you. You know, the reason that combatant commanders like Admiral Cooper and myself in the past love to have Marine Expeditionary Units in our areas of responsibility is because they provide so much flexibility, they provide so much agility for us, and they come with so many capabilities. So the movement of this element in here, I think, is really, I think, gives Admiral Cooper a lot of tools with which to deal with this challenging mission that he's going to have of eventually opening up the Straits of Hormuz. They can do a lot. Certainly, as you pointed out, they could go in and take one of these islands, hold it at risk to the Iranians. Of course, there's a lot that goes into that. You'd have to consider the risk factors. All these islands are very, very close to Iran, and of course, they're very vulnerable to any capabilities that Iran might try to employ against them, and of course we have to sustain them if we're going to put them ashore. But they can do a lot, and they're very, very unique capabilities, you point out.
So when you say they could do a lot, and you say, obviously, it sounds like you expressed some concern, because if they occupy an island and take it over in that area, they also would be making themselves vulnerable to Iranian attack, correct?
Yeah, I think that certainly would be a risk factor that any commander would look at with that. And you have to think about the value of actually taking over one of those. A particular reason we might do it is because it does send a very clear signal to the Iranians that we are serious about what we're doing, and we were so serious we're putting the Marines on the ground. This could help control some of the approaches into the Straits of Hormuz. So there certainly could be tactical and operational advantages to it. But at the same time, any commander will want to be eyes wide open here about the risks associated with having troops on the ground and having to sustain them and take care of them over some period of time.
So there's fighter jets, there's helicopters, there's all kinds of capability that come with this ME unit that is coming in. And we also heard from General Keane earlier today that now there are missions being done deeper into the eastern sections of Iran here. Would you imagine that this capability that'll be here in a few days would enhance that as well?
Sure, those aircraft could be worked into the air tasking orders, can contribute to that, and certainly help with those types of operations. The key piece about this capability is it comes, as you point out, self-contained. It has everything that it needs. It has a platform. It has infantrymen, marine infantrymen. It has its air capabilities. It has its own logistics. So it's a self-contained organization that can do a lot for us, and gives the commander just an incredible amount of flexibility.
So, you know, obviously there's going to be questions about whether or not this is an expansion of our presence there, whether or not taking an island would represent boots on the ground, that the president said he, you know, does not want to be part of this. Let's play a quick exchange at the White House today. Watch this.
Do you intend to potentially put U.S. troops or more troops in the region?
No, I'm not putting troops anywhere. If I were, I certainly wouldn't tell you, but I'm not putting troops.
What's your response to hearing that, you know, given the movement of this unit?
Yeah, I think again, I don't think we need to reveal all of our plans as we move forward. You know, having spent a lot of time at CENTCOM, I've never seen an op plan for that area that did not include a Marine Expeditionary Unit. So I'm not surprised by this. This has probably been part of the plan all along to float this organization in there and give the commander some flexibility. So, you know, decisions about putting troops on the ground are important ones, and there are risk factors, and they're very careful at the deliberations about that. And I think what the president is indicating is that there will be a deliberate discussion within the appropriate channels to do that. But certainly trying to reveal what we're going to do in advance doesn't help us. It only helps our adversary.
Well, as the president said, we have the best military in the world, and we've watched its capability in extraordinary ways, and we're about to see this unit come into view here as well. I want to play very quickly, because this was sort of an interesting moment, speaking about not telegraphing what you're going to do down the road. Watch this.
Why didn't you tell U.S. allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran?
You don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard. And we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay? Brett?
That was quite a moment. It made me laugh out loud. We didn't think we'd ever be laughing about anything related to Pearl Harbor. But what did you think of that, General?
The president has a very unique way of communicating. So that's all I can say, I think.
Yeah, definitely on the spot for the Japanese Prime Minister. General, thank you very much. Always good to see you, sir.
Good. Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.